Hi everyone. So a little less than a year ago, I was an intern living in New York City, and I thought I would do like a tips and tricks video from what I learned during my time that can probably help other people who are going to be living in New York over the summer. And I decided to include my boyfriend because he also is a New York City intern and we live together. So we're going to share some tips and tricks. Now, some of these may seem like common sense, but everything I'm sharing is stuff that I didn't know prior to moving there. And I don't know about you, but yeah, it was new to us. So maybe it'll help at least one person out there. So let's get into it. All right, so my first tip is to get the 30-day unlimited rides Metro card. So when I first moved to New York, my dad was with me, who has lived in New York for many years, and he got me just like a regular Metro card and put like a certain amount of money on it, and then at some point it runs out. But if you get the unlimited month-long Metro card, it's $128 and it will definitely be used. You can go anywhere with it. You can swipe it as many times as you want. And it's just a really great purchase, and you probably save actually a lot of money in terms of like traveling back and forth from places, and it incentivizes you to travel around, which I definitely recommend you do while you're there for the summer. So my next one is, I would definitely recommend looking for, if you haven't found a place to live yet, looking for places either in central Manhattan, so like Upper West Side, Upper East Side, or south of that. We lived at the very tippity top of Manhattan, and it was like a 45 to 50-minute commute going into the office and going back, and I kind of enjoyed being able to sit on the train at times, but it was also kind of annoying because it was a long commute and it took forever to get home, and it also kind of made me avoid like exploring after work, even though I got off at like 5 or 6 and definitely could have like done stuff in the city, after work. Many times I was like, oh, I'm kind of exhausted, it's gonna take me forever to get home, so I might as well just go. And then another tip is also to live near a train line that will take you directly to your office. So the one good thing about where we lived is we could hop on the one train and go all the way down straight to where my office was. There were 2 stops between, so my office was like on 25th Street, and there's a stop at 28th and 23rd, so like stop, little walk, and then you get there, so super easy as well. And Hank had the same experience. He was like on 30th Street or something, so it was like super close. So I would definitely recommend having that so you don't have to switch trains. You can just do an easy commute down. You don't have to worry about like getting off at any point while you're on the train itself. All right, take it away, Hank.
So that brings me to my first one, which is just to generally explore as much as possible. I think we were there for like 2.5 months together. Yeah, 2 months together.
Exactly.
And I think we really made a big point in putting a lot of effort to go exploring as much as possible. And I still think there's a lot more that we could have seen.
Yeah.
Like there's so many small little pockets of the city that have something so cool and so unique, and you should really make it a point to just see as much of that as possible. There's always something new you can do on each day.
Yeah, I mean, the great thing about being in New York is there's so much to do, like always. So for us, we would use the weekends to go out. We'd have breakfast and then hop on the train, go somewhere, and then try and also hop around a little throughout the day so that we like really covered a lot of area. And we ended up going to Brooklyn. We even ended up going to Rockefeller Beach, which is like way far away. It was like a two-hour commute on the train, and a lot of switching, but it was really great. And there's definitely so much more we could have seen in the time that we were there, but I feel like we did cover a lot of ground, and I would recommend doing it too, because you're only there for so long. So like, start. And also, if you're by yourself and you don't have people to go with, go by yourself. The first weekend I was there, I was alone, and it seems a little daunting to like hop on the train yourself and go somewhere and do your own thing, but it's actually so fun, like being able to explore the city on your own. So I would definitely recommend going regardless of whether you have people to go with or not. In terms of being on the train, I would definitely recommend bringing entertainment. You're probably gonna end up having some longer train rides, and even if not, it's just nice to have something to do. Now, obviously people like will listen to music and stuff like that, but we brought books and it was just nice to like read while you were on the train. There's a lot of people that do that too, so I would definitely recommend always having like some entertainment with you, like a book.
Yeah, and your phone will. I like to bring a book a lot too because your phone will go in and out of service the entire time you're on the train.
Yeah.
So you lose a ton of battery. So if you have a book, you can just kind of put your phone on airplane mode and then just read. It's nice.
Yeah.
So something I wish I had done a lot more is reach out to people on social media that are kind of in your field. I mean, whether you're there for like a corporate internship like Sophia was or like an arts internship like I was, you can find pretty much every single type of person that you want on social media. Like if you're more in like Sophia's type of field, you probably use LinkedIn, but if you're mine, use Instagram, Twitter, whatever. I think in general, there's just every single type of person in New York. You can meet so many cool, creative people, and you should just absolutely not waste that opportunity.
Yeah, networking is huge. I obviously didn't do it either, but I have a friend who did. She really made it a point. She wanted to get into investment banking. She was working at a bank, but she wasn't doing investment banking for her internship. And she wanted to get into investment banking. She took the opportunity of being in New York to cold call and network with people, go on coffee dates, the whole thing. And before she even ended her internship for the summer, she already had an internship lined up at Goldman Sachs for the following summer. So you can make whatever you want possible if you go out and network. Pro tip. Okay, so my next one is to make reservations at places, especially if they are highly recommended. I mean, this seems obvious, but I just like didn't really think about it when we were there. And then sometimes we'd, go to this place and I'd be like, oh my God, like everyone says it's really great. And then of course we couldn't eat there because there was like a huge wait time or they just didn't have any tables available. So if you want to go somewhere, especially if it's highly recommended, make a reservation in advance so that you can actually eat there.
So one thing that I really enjoy doing and honestly wish we had done more is take every opportunity to see live shows that you can. There's a ton of shows going on pretty much every single night, every single day. And they're honestly pretty cheap too to get into. I mean, you can see a ton of like smaller local artists or smaller local shows, and also there will be a ton of bigger artists that show up throughout the summer because it's New York, everyone's coming there. And even those tickets will still be pretty cheap. There's a lot of fun opportunities that you can kind of use to get out of the house and go see someone new.
Yeah, on that note, there is, I can't remember exactly what it's called, but I think it's called Summer Stage. Look it up. It is an event that goes throughout the summer in New York, and they have multiple different artists from ones you've actually heard of to like much smaller artists, and they have, and I think also like the prices for tickets vary. They're like definitely cheaper ones for like smaller artists and then more expensive ones for bigger artists. So, even if you don't want to spend a ton of money on it, you can definitely find stuff to go to. There's Broadway always. What else? There's so much to do.
Everything.
Yeah.
Literally.
Yeah. Okay, definitely carry water if you're gonna be walking around. You're going to get dehydrated so easily. There's so much walking when you're in New York City. It's a walkable city, so you're gonna walk. So if you have like a long day ahead of you and you're planning to be out of the house for a long time, definitely bring water with you. Otherwise, you're going to have to stop in stores and get some, and I feel like that just adds up. It's a lot easier just to carry a water bottle with you too, because sometimes you just can't find a store either. We've definitely had that problem. Yeah. And on that note, because you're going to be walking long distances, definitely wear comfortable shoes always. You're probably gonna do more walking than you expect just because it somehow adds up. It's like you're telling yourself you're just gonna walk a little bit and then you end up walking so much more than you expect. So always wear comfortable shoes. And if you're packing to go to New York, bring comfortable shoes with you.
So my last one kind of relates to the thing I said before, but it's just essentially take advantage of all the cheap things that you can do in the city. I mean, it all kind of comes back to just exploring as much as possible and getting out of the house as much as you can. There's so many different things you can do in New York, and they're all pretty affordable too for the most part. I think it's something that you should definitely take advantage of. I mean, if you're into sports, like obviously they have baseball going throughout the summer, and even those tickets are cheap. And like I said before, like there's so many shows and museums that you can go to and everything. Like, and it's all pretty cheap and affordable, and there's so much cool stuff.
I think especially over the summer, there are so many events that happen that usually wouldn't happen like during the regular year. So there's so much to do. I would definitely check out the Lincoln Center. They host a lot of free events. We did a couple of them, and I would definitely recommend checking those out. And then of course, like I would definitely recommend like doing some research. Go online, look up events in the city, like free events, and things will pop up. That's what I did my first week that I was there, and I ended up finding a bunch of cool events that we ended up getting to go to. So, and then my last tip isn't necessarily just for New York interns, but if your internship doesn't connect you to other interns at the company itself, I would definitely recommend reaching out to your coordinator or someone from the people's team to get connected to the other interns at your company. Unfortunately, I was working at like it was a startup, and there were only maybe like 5 other interns, but I just never ended up getting connected to them. And it was only until the very end where I realized that there were other interns that I could hang out with, and I finally decided to reach out to someone to ask who they were and how I could get in contact with them. So yeah, if you are, because I was working on a team where I was the only intern, so if you are in that situation, I would definitely recommend you try and reach out, maybe ask your supervisor first, and they'll let you know who to talk to, because that can connect you to people who are having similar experiences to you, and also can help you create some friendships so that you have people to do things outside of work. Anyways, I think those are all the tips we have for you right now. I hope that you have an amazing experience in New York over the summer. I'm so jealous that you're gonna be there. I wish I could be there. But yeah, best of luck, and thanks for watching. You should subscribe to my channel, by the way.
You should.
Yeah, anyways, okay, bye.